Honestly, this Greg really, god damn it, he just had to.
I watched a lot of Vitruvian physique videos over the past few years, and let me tell you, Igor nailed this one. And so the video is about Marion, a top physique competitor who went on testosterone replacement therapy, but then went off of it about a year later, which is a lot more common than you might think. And he went into the social media pressures and the expectations and the physique standards that might push some men to do things that they probably should not do.
Was known for being part of an increasingly exclusive club, natural fitness YouTubers.
Yeah, there's not that many of us left. We're kind of dropping like flies here. So then he goes into Marion's decision to originally go on TRT. And let's be clear, TRT is steroids. It's a lower dose, it's not quite a cycle in a lot of cases, but especially in the fitness industry, it's steroids.
In Marion's case, he did claim it was for mostly medical reasons due to him having low testosterone symptoms, and although low T is a real problem for thousands of men out there and they do need medical intervention, you can't help but wonder if he maybe jumped the gun a little bit.
So just because you feel like shit doesn't mean you need TRT. Just because you have low testosterone does not mean you need TRT. You could even have the combination of low testosterone and feeling like shit and not need TRT. 25% of men, if they have a single blood draw, are going to have low testosterone.
But 1 in 4 adult men right now in Western society, if you pop them on a blood draw, they might pop for low testosterone.
A lot of those are not even going to be symptomatic. There's going to be this fluctuation in levels, so this is why most of the time if you want to get TRT, you have to have multiple tests that show, multiple tests that show you having low testosterone combined with symptoms.
Perhaps fixing his life circumstances, like not trying to perpetually exist at 8% body fats, maybe this would have been a better solution as opposed to immediately jumping on the the juicy juice.
And even this, a lot of it is going to be your own fault. I mean, it sounds bad, but if your diet sucks, you're maintaining a super lean physique, you have very little fat in your diet, you're not getting enough micronutrients, namely zinc and magnesium, you're stressed all the time. A lot of this stuff is your choices, right? Like even stress, it's a choice. I know that sounds controversial, but it's how you react to situations. And yeah, if you're always, fight or flight, your testosterone might be low. But that doesn't mean you need to replace it. You just need to get your shit together. Yeah, so you don't get your natty card back that quickly. It's not like you can run a cycle and then, you PCT and then boom, now you're natural again. First of all, you're never lifetime natural after you take steroids. Point blank, it's just, you're not, right? Are you natural the minute you stop? No. Like, oh, I haven't injected today, I guess I'm natural. Like, Phil Heath is natural because he didn't inject on that day. No. How long does it take before you get your natty card back? Well, according to some federations, it's about 5 to 10 years, somewhere in there. I take a somewhat strict approach. There are people who I respect in the industry highly who have taken stuff in the past. Now they are natural competitors. I don't know. For me, that seems a little bit sus, but there has to be a line somewhere.
TRT, testosterone replacement therapy, as many of you guys know, which I started, right now it's about 1.5 years ago. Today I'm going to talk about why it was a mistake.
So I was watching the Iron Culture podcast, as I am wont to do, and I was watching an episode called All About Testosterone and TRT, parentheses, yeah, we go there. And apparently, and I'll link this in the description below, 80 to 85% men have stopped after 1 year.
So 80 to 85% of people stop at 1 year. Like, that is so scary to me. Like, just objectively, you're going to go from, you're going to just take a really, you're going to take a cycle that is basically physiological for no reason.
So 1 year after going on TRT, 80 to 85% of men have stopped. That is crazy. If you were signing up for the gym and you asked the manager, hey, after a year, how many people are still coming here? And he's like, yeah, 15 to 20% retention rate. You wouldn't be like, sign me up. You'd be like, let's go into that a little bit more.
All the pressures of life, the pressures of, guys, I don't talk about it as much, but YouTube can be a very high pressure job. Just the fact that there are potentially thousands of you watching, everybody's got their own opinions, everyone's sometimes, judging for this or that, it could get relatively difficult.
So I can definitely relate to this, but I don't think this is a valid reason or excuse to take testosterone replacement therapy or any other drugs. If you have stress, deal with your stress. Learn to manage your stress. Don't just gloss over this with drugs.
I hit my natural limit.
Enough! You are all of you beneath me. I am a god, you dull creature, and I will not be bullied by that.
That only lasted for a while as well, because then you hit another plateau, you know, and you have to start taking more drugs and you know, more anabolics and other stuff.
I've thought about anabolics. I think anybody who takes training seriously has thought about it. If not, they're lying.
Yeah, I don't know anyone in the fitness industry who is like, yeah, I've never ever been tempted. I've never even considered them at any point in my life. Like, we fight for these gains. We sacrifice for these gains. And like, you know, here's a little pill that could not only accelerate your progress, but get you to a level that you could never ever even hope to achieve naturally. So the temptation is always going to be there. And a lot of people, they succumb to this temptation.
It's a game of chemistry. It becomes a game of drugs. You start taking something, you hit a new plateau 6 months later after gaining 5 or 10 pounds. You're not gonna think, how should I start training now? Should I add this in? Should I change my diet? You're gonna be like, fuck it, no, more drugs.
Yeah, so if you take drugs early without learning how to train, maybe you could optimize the training later, which doesn't even make sense anyway. But if you already were at your limit or near your limit, you already had the training, the diet, the exercise selection, the technique, all these things optimized or very, very close to it. Otherwise, you wouldn't be near your limit. Therefore, the only variable that you have to manipulate are the drugs. Okay, and so when people are like, when I hear people who are very, very, very enhanced talk about training, my reaction used to be like, all right, let's take notes. This guy's a jacked motherfucker. Now I'm like, yeah, but like, how much of that is actually going to impact your progress versus adding a gram of stuff?
That I wanted to do better at bodybuilding, at being bigger and having more muscle. Well, actually, like, my physique natural was freaking good, man. And
So I've seen this a number of times. I offered to assess people's body fat percentages for free. And some people had very, very impressive physiques, bigger than me, and yet they were like, yeah, I don't know, like, still getting there. Like, dude, you look great. What are you talking about? They're like, yeah, I'm the smallest guy in the gym. What gym are you going to? And like, these people just have this very skewed view of reality and of themselves, and it's literally body dysmorphia. They can't see themselves for what they really are.
steroids and TRT, it starts to get normalized a lot.
This is a huge point. Number one, it's insane that he was like, my physique is insufficient. All that, still unsatisfied. And most likely, he's pretty much said, it's because of social media. This is a huge fucking problem.
Yeah, so I personally unfollowed the majority of enhanced lifters that I was following over the past few months. I don't miss that at all. And really just be honest with, what are you getting from following this person? Are they actually giving you useful information? Are they improving your life? And most IFBB pros, especially the mass monsters, they don't put out good information. I don't think I've ever learned something from the majority of those guys. I still follow a few, but most of them, like, be selfish with who you follow. Don't just follow someone because they're big. That is the worst reason to follow someone. Then he goes into like the memes of trend, or like, oh, I'm on trend. And I do think this is harmful, and actually maybe I am somewhat to blame. I did a video where it's like, oh, this is before trend, this is after trend. And yeah, it's obviously joking, but some people don't understand that it's a joke, and other people, they realize it's a joke, but it's still normalizing things, and it's still maybe doing harm.
Actually knowing what you're talking about before you even use your first cycle of test, super fucking important, super prudent for your health management. If you're 21 years old and, you know, talking about how sick using fucking tren is and this and that and blasting hella shit, yeah, you'll be able to get away with it for a number of years, but at some point it catches up with you.
There was two defenses against this. Number one is that people just didn't really talk about it, which might not necessarily be a good thing because people are not transparent. There's much more of a fake natty problem.
Yeah, so 5 or 10 years ago, the fake natural problem was definitely a big issue, and a lot of people were not transparent at all and just lied through their teeth about their steroid usage. That's not really a problem anymore. If someone is a fake natural and an obvious one, they get called out and people know. I mean, no one is like, Liver King, I don't know. Like, he gets called out hard. The issue now is no longer natty or not. It's being too transparent and promoting steroids and the glorification of them. That is the main issue now. It's not if someone is natural or not, it's them showing themselves injecting on camera and talking about how TRT makes them feel awesome and all this other stuff. It's not that, it's a new problem.
And the other defense mechanism back then was, again, not many people were doing it, because you turn on social media, you've got Chris Lovato, Matt Ogus, Nick Wright, Omar Isuf, all these good old hard-working natural bodybuilders, and now, not the case. A lot of the biggest names in fitness now are, like, you know, taking it, or in some cases openly taking it, kind of like the more natural side of the industry. It's becoming smaller and smaller. It's becoming a smaller and more exclusive club, and the smaller that voice becomes, the more it's drowned out, and the more that new, younger guys who get into this realize, like, there isn't even another option.
Yeah, so it's true that on social media, it's very, very hard for a natural physique to measure up. And in terms of just popularity and mainstream appeal and social media growth, how you look is very important, and it's very difficult for a natural lifter to compete. And I know it's impossible to have this discussion without sounding mildly jealous or salty, but just looking at it objectively, that is a big part of why people go on gear. It does help with your branding and your social media growth pretty tremendously. And yeah, a lot of these younger guys, they're just not exposed to the natural side of things. Some of them think that it's just stupid to stay natural, or that it's going to be almost impossible to build muscle naturally. I have literally had people say that it is impossible to build muscle naturally. And not when they're near their peak or whatever, they're almost tapped out, but just starting out. Like, why would you ever try to build muscle naturally? It's just not going to happen. Fucking blows my mind, but that's what they genuinely believe because they're exposed to a lot of the chemistry side of things.
Or they don't really even, like, know about it that much. That's one of the crappy things about, like, the natural side of the sport becoming so diminished, especially at a young age. I mean, if you're doing something at 30, fine, whatever. But, like, when I see, like, 19-year-old kids doing, like, counting all the shit they take, I'm like, it's kind of sad.
Yeah, so I get a lot of questions on Quora about steroids and anabolics because I've answered a few where it's like,
Don't fucking take steroids, you stupid little bitch.
That escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
And then, like, Quora finds this as a sign that people should ask me questions about steroids. But I've had people message me as well, and they say, oh, like, by the way, I'm not natural. And I'm like, okay, so, like, what are you on? They're like, this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this to offset this, and this to synergize with this. And they look like shit. They look like they don't even lift weights, and they're on a bunch of stuff, high dosages. I'm like, why? Like, they don't know how to diet, they don't know how to train, they don't know how to program, they don't know how to do exercise selection technique, anything, and yet they are saucing it up big time.
This is a cycle, okay? I'm taking TRT.
I'm on TRT, it's only 500 milligrams per week. Don't take that out of context. That was a hypothetical. Fuck!
I'm taking TRT for my connection. That's about 200 nanograms per deciliter. That is crap. Might be something seriously wrong, or just a garbaggio lifestyle. Again,
yeah, so obviously 200 nanograms per deciliter is super, super low, but it's very, very understandable if you are too lean, low-fat diet, low in calories, stressed, sleep is shit, again, micronutrient deficiencies. You could get to 200 very, very easily just from these factors alone. So, you know, yeah, you might have low testosterone, but is TRT the answer? Probably not.
And I'm always somewhere around like 650 to 750.
So I'll have a whole video at some point on why testosterone is overrated for muscle growth. Yes, overrated. And a lot of very, very impressive natural lifters with great physiques have average testosterone levels. So if you think your testosterone levels are holding you back, you are probably wrong.
And I've also been taking Turkesterone. That's what I started taking after my PCT. And I've also been taking Turkesterone because I talked to Greg Doucette, you know, who always makes the videos and about this stuff. And
so I could go on a big rant here, but I think Igor took care of this one.
And I asked him like what I should do for PCT, and he told me that I could add that onto it as well. So I also took Turkesterone. So I don't know what that effect has been on my testosterone levels.
Here, let me save you the trouble. Nothing. It won't do shit to your testosterone. It doesn't. That's not the right pathway. It binds to your estrogen receptor pathway. Doesn't bind to your androgen receptors. It's not testosterone based. Honestly, fuck Greg, really, god damn it, he just had to weasel turkesterone in. Do you have a problem with your testosterone? You need to take turkesterone. Got a problem with your taxes? Fucking turkesterone. Your wife left you? Turkesterone will bring her back. He's starting to go a bit overboard with this. I remember when Derek from More Plates, More Dates came out with turkesterone originally in 2020, he approached it from a more so like realistic standpoint. Even at best, he's like, listen guys, this is maybe like a 3 or 4 out of 10 supplement. Greg makes it seem like this shit's gonna give you magic powers and shoot fucking lasers out your eyes. I put on 4 or 5 pounds of muscle in a month. I'm not saying you won't do it, but I did. This like anecdotal lack of actual real evidence bullshit is starting to get really out of hand. I mean, come on. Oh, look at this. Some 17-year-old teenager put on 100 pounds on his deadlift using turkesterone. That's amazing. Could it be that, or could it be that he was going through fucking puberty? Sure, use it, go ahead, but is it gonna do shit for your test? Probably, definitely not.
You know turkesterone doesn't raise testosterone levels. It doesn't raise them. Did I ever once in my life say turkesterone increases testosterone levels? No, I've never said that before.
So I'm out here on my balcony, and yeah, this is exactly from the harderthanlasttime.subs.com website. As you can see, it says literally increased production of testosterone, underlined there for everyone to see. Plus, if you look at the article that they linked in support of ashwagandha, it says no mention of testosterone at all in the entire study. And I will link this in the description below. And honestly, Greg, you're just embarrassing yourself at this point. You've fallen so far, and I don't even feel sorry for you at this point because you've brought all of this on yourself. So then he goes into how you should diversify your fitness interests and not just be focused on muscle and bodybuilding. You know, you could always go down the strength road. You could, you could start rock climbing. You could start, running. Dave McConey, he's near his genetic muscular potential. He started running. He got to a 6-minute mile. And I do think you can't just focus on the muscle, because then it becomes kind of a slam dunk to take steroids, because that is going to help that a huge amount. So I think having multiple interests, whether it's calisthenics or boxing or whatever, is a good idea.
Will I do it again? No, definitely not. If I'm at an older age and my test goes down at like 40 years old, sure, to improve my quality of life. That is a different situation.
Testosterone does decline with age. It took me like 4 times to say that for some reason. But it doesn't decline that much, and often these declines are lifestyle related, so you should not expect to have to go on testosterone at any point in your life. It might happen, it is something that is a possibility, but you should absolutely not expect it, and it is not a normal thing. Even if you're 50 or 60 or 70, that is still not normal.
I think that with social media, it just puts a lot of pressure on all of us, and you open Instagram, you see all these guys, and maybe you're like, I want to get there too, and
separate entirely.
I mean, health is wealth, and in his case, he was broke.
I saw a poll the other day on Steve Shaw's channel. If you would take 10 years off of your life to be a mass monster, would you do it? And, 91% of people said no, but 9% of people said yes. You're going to take 10 years off of your life to become a mass monster. That's how much you want muscle, and you love muscle, and you need muscle. You're willing to sacrifice a decade off of your life?
Potentially. But it's crazy because while there are people following him thinking that, he is following other people thinking the same thing.
Yeah, so the more ideal and picturesque someone's lifestyle looks on social media, the higher the likelihood they are fucking miserable. This goes with physique as well. You might think, oh, of course there's a linear correlation between how good your physique is and then your happiness, and it's just the better your physique, the more happy you are. The happier you are, whatever that. I'm a writer, right? No. Okay, there's either very little correlation or it might even be negative in the fitness industry. Josh Brett did a video a while ago where he said something like, fitness ruined my life, and the more he got into the fitness industry and consumed fitness content, the more body dysmorphia he got, and the more miserable he became. And that is something that I see quite a bit. And don't think that getting a better physique is going to make you happy. It won't. If you look at all these pro bodybuilders like flexing in the mirror and looking at themselves, they're not smiling. They're not smiling. They're looking at themselves in a hyper-focused, hypercritical way. Steroids is only going to make this worse because you cycle up, you look amazing, but then your physique is going to fluctuate quite a bit. People say bulking and cutting gives you body dysmorphia. No, okay? It's the drugs. And not just the drugs you take, but the drugs that other people take as well, and you're consuming their content.
It happened to Mariah, and I felt like that at times as well, which is why sometimes I have to kind of remind myself by making videos like this, yelling at the camera, or fortunately, thank you to him, watching honest videos like this, which tell you the truth, which in some cases is not all that pretty.
Yeah, so props to Mariah for putting out this video and being real with people. I think a lot of people in the fitness industry, they don't talk about the negative sides of steroids or excessive leanness or like their training injuries or anything negative because that does not sell stuff.
The Natural Fitness Club on YouTube, and
I believe these are known as the Noble Natties. And I would like to formally extend an invitation to Igor. And anyone else listening, just send me $19.99 to my PayPal and I will get you all signed up. I'm just kidding. If you know, and there is no application needed. It is written on your heart. Fuck, that was lame.
And social media has been shrinking over the years, and that means it's more of a responsibility to their few remaining members, such as myself, to kind of make ourselves known that, hey, you want to do that, that's okay. But if you don't, like us, you can still live this lifestyle. You can still be one of us, and you can still, like in the case of Mariah, build a pretty fucking damn great physique. You're just not going to be 220 and 3% body fat, and you know what? That's okay.
Yeah, so if you're a natural lifter, I think it's best to just not compare yourself to enhanced lifters. That might seem very obvious, but a lot of people don't actually realize that. So in terms of physique, in terms of FFMI, in terms of strength standards, in terms of leanness, in terms of aesthetics, anything, it's a different game. It is a completely separate side of things. Heck, you might not even want to compare yourself even to other naturals, just because you are playing your own sport. Bodybuilding is an individual thing, and thus you need to only compare yourself to yourself, at least to a certain extent. So if you are not already, definitely subscribe to Igor's channel, Vitruvian Physique. I watch the majority of his videos. They're always very, very well produced and put together, and lots of useful stuff there. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff, YouTube things people tell you to do. Grab a copy of my book. It will help you a lot in your training journey, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.